Today, I'll be taking you behind the scenes for a music video that I filmed, directed, and edited called She'll Know by Emma Lokai.
If she only knew, I'm the first thing that you think of. If she only knew, when you're in bed, when you're with her.
So production for this music video was broken into 2 days. I like to break things between a storyline day as well as a performance day. So we're gonna jump first into the storyline day, or what I would call the acting scenes of the music video. So the song pretty much tells its own story. If you listen to the record, the song has already a storyline kind of written out. It can go really sequential, but I kind of wanted to stay away from that. I wanted to do a little something different. But what I did was I took all that emotion and punched it into one Uber ride. Everything is taking place within that one Uber ride for the storyline. So I want to evoke emotion in this Uber ride scene. I want it to be very hot, heavy, and intense. So I thought of 3 key things that I could do to evoke that emotion. So the first one I would say was focal length. Now, the proximity from the audience to what is happening on screen, I want you to feel like you were almost there. And then the only way I could figure out of actually doing that was having a focal length that wasn't way too wide or too tight. I wanted something that was in the middle, that made you feel like you were almost in the front seat watching and just a little bit closer. So the best focal length to do that was the 50mm, and I was at a 1.8 because I wanted a lot of depth to it as well, so it kind of had a lot of mystery in it. Playing with the shadows and things like that. Speaking of shadows, lighting was another thing I used to kind of really intensify and tell this story and kind of let your mind wander and kind of leave this mystery. You know, a lot of times with music videos, we try to light everything so perfectly. I want to kind of go for more of a short film type feel when you're watching these acting scenes. And the last thing I used to intensify that moment was actual frame rate. With music videos, many times, there was times where I've shot storyline scenes with a high frame rate, so everything would be in slow motion, and we're used to seeing that. But I wanted, again, this to feel like a short film. I wanted it to be really almost fast paced. So I figured using 24 frames per second gives it the most short film type feel. And it also like tells the story in real time. So you feel like you're almost really there. And that's what I really wanted to kind of convey to the audience. I just really wanted them to feel this connection and this heat between the two.
4 a.m. morning, if she only knew, you can keep it real with her. If she only knew.
Moving into day 2 of production. Now, day 2 was all about performance. It was all about Emma. So we were just with the artist and she had her chance to just do her thing on camera. So one practical effect that was really cool was the bed scene. Now, in the bed scene, you see the sheets kind of flowing, and I wanted to give movement to this scene where it was movement with the camera, movement with the talent, but at the same time, there was movement going on in the background. And how I did this was we used the bed sheets. I had 2 production assistants waving the bed sheets over Emma as she performed, and I went underneath in there with her and filmed. I was really going for like an angelic, angel-like feel. As you could see, the storyline scenes were so dark, and it was nighttime. I wanted to give the polar opposite contrast by having the performance scenes be very, very bright.
Oh, God.
Keep going, keep going. So it was important to me to have the audience acknowledged in this music video. I wanted you guys to feel a connection to Emma. I wanted it to feel like as if she was almost talking to you. And then the way I did that was by switching up pretty much the composition and the framing to make it look like as if she was in selfie mode. And kind of the whole basis of the part in the performance scene, even though it's a performance scene and not a storyline, I wanted to somewhat tell a small story in the performance scene. And you can kind of figure, okay, she's kind of maybe like taking pictures and sending scandalous pictures to this guy. So that's kind of the vibe you get. But I wanted you guys to feel as if you, the audience member, were that person for a split second. The only problem was I didn't want to actually use a real phone, even though phones do have some good quality. I wanted to keep it the same quality as my camera that I was filming with. So what we did was I had Emma stick her hand out and just put it underneath the camera. And as I moved around, I told her to fall around the camera with her hand. And I switched my camera to be kind of vertical as I filmed, so that way it looks like it was shot 9:16 ratio, as well as it looks like it's selfie mode. But I didn't want her to be like holding a camera, because if you notice, when you are holding a camera and holding the button down, you're kind of focusing, your arm is tense. I want her arm to be very loose. I want her to be very seductive, and I want her to be able to be very natural and not worry about having to focus on something other than just the camera lens. Fun facts was that we actually shot a whole entire different music video for this. So we did a whole one-take music video for She'll Know that we end up scrapping because it just didn't really tell the story that we wanted it to. The one-take video was a cool idea, and something that I do eventually want to use on something else. It just didn't really tell the story for this video. There was a lot of coordination that went into it. We took multiple takes, kind of had like a whole choreography dance going on to run through everything multiple times. But it just didn't really work for what we wanted to do. And what we ultimately ended up doing was like the best thing that we actually did. And I'm actually very happy and very proud of the product we created for the music video. Well, thank you for coming behind the scenes with me and looking at the making of Emma Lokai's music video. Again, you can watch it on YouTube. Just search Emma Lokai, She'll Know. If you have any questions, you can leave comments below and let me know. And until then, I will see you guys later.